Community Watchdog investigation into safety concerns within the Johnson City Parks and Recreation Department sparked concerns from two city commissioners and prompted the city to address one of the issues internally. In an update tonight, Nate Morabito got his hands on public emails sent out after our story back in July, and he found out the city has since learned from one of its mistakes.
It's an interesting read, Josh. The city manager sent an email to commissioners addressing our findings the morning after our story aired. That prompted the mayor to ask for more of a heads up next time before a story ends up on TV. Despite city manager Pete Peterson saying in that email that we sensationalized the facts in our story, he admitted the city did make a mistake in regards to one of the safety issues we highlighted, something he told me fell through the cracks. The Winged Deer Park concession stand is a popular place at the ballpark. So to keep it safe, fire code requires someone to inspect and clean the Friar Hood fire suppression system inside every 6 months. But our investigation back in July revealed that major safety device meant to save this building from a grease fire went almost 3 years without a documented inspection or cleaning.
Well, that's a major concern for me.
Our finding prompted that response from the city's assistant fire marshal.
If they're going to use it, they need to keep it maintained.
According to the city, there are no records of any inspections or maintenance since 2012 there.
Well, I don't know that that's true.
It prompted a completely different reaction from the Parks and Rec director.
It never didn't work.
In an email sent to city commissioners the day after our story aired, the city manager admitted the city failed to inspect that exhaust hood as required by code. He told leaders there are no excuses. Pete Peterson says the city has since addressed its failure.
Every now and then something's going to fall through the cracks, but we always work real hard to learn from our mistakes, and we've debriefed on that particular situation, and we will continue to debrief after all of our safety inspections to ensure that we're operating as quickly and as effectively as we can.
That's not the only discussion prompted by our story. Commissioner David Tomita responded to that city manager email we mentioned, saying he was disturbed to see one department basically calling out the other publicly, saying there was clearly a breakdown of communication.
We've talked about it, and I think it was more a matter of miscommunication, and not all the parties that needed to be talking to each other had been. There were respective members of each department that had talked about it, and the results of those communications just hadn't reached all the people that needed to get to by that point in time. But we have addressed that, and I feel very comfortable that we've got a good process in place.
Now remember, when an inspector finally took a look at that exhaust hood, he recommended upgrades. As we previously reported, those upgrades took some time. In fact, the city didn't move forward with an official quote to make the overdue upgrades until the day after we started asking questions, then completed the upgrades a week later. The city manager said the same thing the Parks and Rec director told us. Plans to correct the problem were already in place prior to our questions. He says he feels very sure the city was taking proper action. And I want to mention this as well. Peterson says the city's risk management team, as well as its insurance carrier, routinely perform safety inspections across its park system. He says the city has a proactive program in place to make sure all facilities citywide are safe.
Nate Morabito, thank you very much. And one more note, as we told you earlier this evening at 5 o'clock, after months of investigating, the Tennessee Occupational Safety and Health Administration determined that the former Johnson City Parks and Recreation employee's firing was not the result of retaliation. He is the person who alerted us to the safety issue. You can read the story and see what else city officials said in those emails about our reporting. We've got them posted already for you right now on WJHL.com.